And the first thing that's very, very interesting is, I got to tell you, I was thinking about it during the week after last week's first show, that probably I should be starting with some information on understanding financial stewardship, since that's what we're talking about. You know, we were talking gold and silver last week and so forth. And I've got this program that has a kind of an extended course on financial stewardship. And I was trying to think of which one I wanted to do today, and I kid you not, the one that was supposed to be today, just if I went in the order, was on debt and how to get rid of it and all this kind of stuff. I think what we're going to do, though, is we are going to, I know Dr. Hebe is my guest speaker. Dr. Hebe, are you there?
I am here, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning. I think what I'll do is I'll save that for when Dr. Hebe is through and we let him get back to his morning, and then we're just going to kind of jump right into it. I'm going to do a little quick intro on Dr. Hebe. He's up in St. Louis. For those of you that watched last year's or earlier this year's shows that we had with the Bringing It On Home, there was a couple times where I talked about the Beamer, the medical device. And I met Dr. Hebe through Beamer up in St. Louis, and he is a world-renowned chiropractor. What's funny is around the 1st of June, I got this email from him, and it was an email that didn't have anything to do with chiropractic, Beamer, nothing medical. It was about financial. And it was so different than anything I had seen from this gentleman that rather than just respond with an email or something, I called him up and I asked him, I said, Dr. Hebe, what's going on? And he chuckled and stuff. And
sound on what?
He started telling me a little bit about this program that we are going to talk about this morning. But without me taking the wind out of his sails or anything, Dr. Hebe, are you ready to kind of introduce us to Worth Unlimited?
Absolutely, Tony. And you know what? Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. You know, you talk about a few months ago, I'm telling you, the past few months has been a whirlwind in regards to, you know, the business that I'm involved in, which is debt elimination. And back some time ago, you know, I was a chiropractor for about 25 years. And you know, the whole premise on what we do as holistic healers is to look for solutions. And, you know, being involved in the Beamer and understanding the significance of what that technology can do for people, that was about finding a solution to a very important problem that people suffer from each and every day. Well, when I got wind of this product and this program, it absolutely blew my mind because it fit right into my wheelhouse as it relates to finding a solution to a very, very significant problem that we see each and every day. And that is people are in debt and people do not know what to do about it. They don't know how to get out of debt. And this program, the Worth Account, will do that for you, and it will accelerate that process like you've never seen before because we're using advanced technologies.
It just doesn't. Right now, I have to change the camera.
Well,
So
I know. Well, I was going to say, I know I was impressed when I took a look at that first email and so forth. So when you're talking about advanced technologies, can you shed some light just on a brief radio show like this about that?
Sure. So when we talk about an advanced technology, think of when you get in your automobile, okay? Or let's talk about the cell phone. If you need to go on a trip and you need to go somewhere, you know, say 50 miles, say you want to go to your friend's house or you want to go on a trip, most, if not all, people have a GPS system, okay? Some of it's built into the vehicle already. Others have it right on their phone. They just simply type in the address to where they want to go, and they press go, and the cell phone, the software program basically directs you where to go in the most efficient, the fastest route. And that's really what this product is. It is a GPS financial software system that once you load your data, and I'm talking about your debt, your income, and your monthly expenses, it will basically map out your fastest, most effective way to eliminate all of your debt. And we're not talking a few years. We're not talking this 10, 15, 20 years of getting rid of your debt. We're talking about cutting that down to 1/4 of the time it would take you to pay off your debt traditionally. So it's very simple yet very complex when it comes to determining exactly how to get out of debt. I would not want to sit there with a spreadsheet and try to figure this out. Many mathematicians have tried to do that and said, you know what, hey, I can do this just as good as this financial software system, and you just can't, okay? Technology is so far advanced, it's just much more effective to just simply follow the steps. So,
well, here's a question. I'll ask this maybe just a little premature in our overall conversation and stuff, but, are you, do you eat your own cooking, so to speak? I mean, are you using this program?
absolutely, I use this program. And my wife and I, we sat down a few months ago, and we looked at our debt, and we determined that if we would follow the traditional path, it would take us probably 17 to 20 years to pay off all of our debt. Now, I'm 53 years old. I really don't want to have any debt, okay, when I'm 70 years old. I don't want to have any debt when I'm 60 years old. I want to be out of debt as quickly as possible, okay? So I'm like everyone, okay? Everyone, I would probably say close to 99.9% of most people have some type of debt. So we sat down and we worked out our program, and my wife and I will be debt-free in less than 4 years, okay? So I am a product of the product, and I utilize it every day. And you know what? It's fun, okay? Many people stay stagnant in their situation when it comes to finances. They just simply don't know what to do. And this gives you a game plan, and it tells you exactly what to do, an action plan, and you simply follow it. And, the company has been around for 15 years, Tony. It's not like this thing was, discovered a year ago. They have a track record. It's proven. It's not on trial. And they have well over, I believe now, close to 100,000 clients that have been using this program since the mid-2000s.
Well, let's do this. We've already used 10 of our minutes, and I've found from doing these shows that the time goes so fast. It's like a blink of an eye, really. But I know some of our viewers tune in and tune out because they're, in transit and so forth. So if you've heard enough to where you've got an interest, we do have a website. It's www.worthaccount, that's WORTH account.com/debt.free. So once again, www.worthaccount.com/debt.free. And at that website, you can get a free ebook, which is very, very informative, and a plethora of other information and so forth. But let me ask you this, Dr. Hebe. I know from the
Website, one more time.
one more time, website is www.worthaccount.com/debt.free. And I know the few times I've mentioned this to people out there in the world and so forth, Dr. Hebe, I've had people come back and say, well, is this that snowballing strategy, or is this just paying an extra payment early, or, I've been there, done that, and so forth like that. What are your thoughts or comments about those questions?
Yeah, that's a great observation. Many people will sit there and go, you know what, this is too good to be true. How can this, software program do exactly what you're telling me it does? I could easily make additional payments, to my mortgage every month and pay down the principal and save interest on the back end. And you know what? You can do that, okay? I mean, that is effective to a degree. If someone has a 30-year mortgage and they start paying additional principal every month, the best they can do, and this is based on math, okay, not on some opinion, the best they can do is shave off about 7 years, okay, of interest payments in regards to a 30-year fixed mortgage, okay? This is dealing with multiple algorithms, 770 computations, or excuse me, 700 computations. This is a financial software program. Look, I always tell people, do you have a cell phone? I ask them, do you have a cell phone? When was the last time that you took apart your cell phone and tried to figure out how it worked. Okay?
Yeah.
And people will sit there and go, "Are you kidding me? I would never do that." And I would say, exactly. But God forbid, tomorrow morning your cell phone does not work and you cannot text or you cannot get your emails. Okay? You will be beside yourself. You will not know what to do. Okay? But you're used to having it work every single time. Well, it's the same thing with this software program. Okay? You simply follow very specific or strategic transfers or steps in moving your discretionary income to the debt that the software program determines is the one that needs to be paid off immediately. Okay, so this is a great way for people not to think, okay, but simply do. And they have a proven track record. Okay, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they're A+ with the Better Business Bureau. The company stands behind their product. They offer a 100% money-back guarantee. And over those 15 years that they've been in business, not one person has asked for their money back. Okay? And what does that tell you? Number one, it tells you that they stand behind their product. But more importantly, the product works. And, think about this. Think about how many people have some type of debt, whether it's a mortgage. Think about people that have maybe student loan debt.
Boy, student loans are big, in the headlines these days.
Exactly. And, I always have conversations with people, that have student loan debt, especially young people in their, just coming out of college. I have, believe it or not, Tony, I have 2 sets of twins. And my oldest set of twins,
goodness.
Right, my oldest set of twins just graduated from college. And both of them have some student loan debt. Now, many in that age bracket think, okay, that their student loan debt is going to be forgiven. Well, let me make it very clear to your listeners. Student loan debt is not going to be forgiven, okay? Students that are coming out of school, graduates, are going to have to pay their student loan debt. Now, I sat down with my son, and I gave the program to him as a graduation gift. Now, I know this is odd, okay? Most graduates are used to getting cards and cash and presents, but things that they can hold on to and enjoy. But I gave my son the financial software program, and when we sat down and did his analysis, and that's one thing I want to tell all of your listeners, you can have a free savings analysis that will tell you specifically the exact date that you will be out of debt, and it won't cost you anything. Okay, so we sat down with my son, and I did that, and he has about $79,000 in debt from student loans, and it would have taken him 22 years to pay it off traditionally. And he sat down, and we figured out through the software program he's going to be debt-free in less than 4 years. Now think about that. What if you could help your children? What if you could give them a tool that would help them get out of debt and put them on a solid foundation to building wealth? Think about that. We talk about legacies. Okay, what legacy are you leaving for your children? Okay, and giving them the tools to be, much more giving. They're out of debt. They have more disposable income. They can help more people. Leaving a legacy, so important.
Well, and on this show, since it's on the Acts Ministry Media Network, we talk a lot about stewardship. So that falls right in line with financial stewardship, right from the Bible there.
Absolutely, and let me tell you, it's so important. I was having a discussion with a pastor here in St. Louis, and I asked him, I said, what is the significance of this program to your parishioners? And he said exactly what you just said, okay, being stewards, okay, and being stewards of your money and being able to give back, okay. Most, if not all, people are collecting paychecks just to make ends meet. And if you have a tool that will effectively get you out of debt, then it opens up, so many other avenues to not only help yourself and your family, but to give back and truly do God's work. So, I'm very passionate about this in regards to educating the young people that are coming out of school to be more responsible and to be really to open their eyes to, look, this is what you can do. You can literally live your dreams, okay, and be able to give back and help people. It's so powerful.
Is this endorsed by, any publications or, folks in the industry or anything?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, as you know, it's got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. But back in 2008, the company actually won a very prestigious award that's given to entrepreneurs, the Ernst Young Entrepreneur Award, back in 2008 for its for its product. This is something Apple, okay, received that award. Other huge corporations, very successful corporations, received that award. And what's great about this company, the two co-founders, Skylar Whitman and John Winchenko, are just wonderful human beings, high integrity. They stand behind their product. It's been featured in numerous economic magazines. We believe in the next 5 years, this company will be the largest financial services company in the country, because people, they want to get out of debt. And if you give them tools and the product works, we've had this discussion before, Tony, about the Beamer, okay? When you have such an unbelievable piece of equipment and now you have an unbelievable software product, people are going to hear about it and they're going to want to jump on board and utilize this program because, deep down, all of us want more freedom. And when we are in debt, we don't have that choice or that ability to do things that we want to do or we feel passionate about. Okay, so again, this program is an unbelievable technology, and I really encourage all of your listeners to go to that website, read the story. Okay, the ebook is really a story of the company and of these two individuals that started this company. And then it walks you through the actual process. A lot of people think real quickly that when they do this program, they're going to have to go out and get some kind of advanced line of credit. But they have developed this program to the extent now that all you need is your checking and savings account. That's all you need. And that opens up doors for so many people.
Well, and Dr. Hebe and I have one individual in common. She's down in Arkansas, and of course everything is confidential and stuff, so we'll just call her Lynn for the moment. But when I introduced her to Dr. Hebe, he was kind enough to go through this analysis he's talked about and stuff. And I've known Lynn for, 10, 12 years now, and I know that her and her husband and their kids, they're the types that she's working 3 jobs. She's driving for Uber and she's driving for Lyft, and it seems like there's another one in there someplace for food deliveries and stuff. And she's.
I do that also.
Matt does that also. But I'm glad you do, because sometimes I have to use those services to get our dinner. But my point is that, I know her husband's working a couple of jobs, and, when Dr. Hebe got a chance to visit with her, I don't know if you want to share some comments about that, but all I can tell you is when she called me back, she was giggling like a little girl because of what they found out on how soon they could get rid of their debt load they had. I don't know, do you want to comment on that at all, Dr. Hebe?
Sure. So Lynn, when I sat down with her and her husband, okay, that's so important. If in fact that your listeners do take advantage of getting this ebook and they want to take advantage of the free analysis, make sure that you have all the decision makers in one room. Okay, it's so important. When we do our free analysis, I like to do them actually on Zoom calls, so they can actually put a name with a face. Excuse me. And we sat down, and with her husband, and this is all confidential. Anything that we do in regards to your finance, this is all confidential. And then we sat down and we went through the analysis. And when we came to the summary page, I literally thought her husband was going to fall off his chair. Not only was Lynn grinning from ear to ear, but her husband looked at the summary and said, "This is unbelievable." And you could see in his eyes, okay, in his facial expressions, his brain was working. It was thinking. It was dreaming. And he said, "You're telling me that we can be completely out of debt in this very short amount of time versus what traditionally they would be out of debt." He couldn't believe it. It just couldn't. It opened up. You could just see the excitement. Okay, and you know what? Look, debt weighs us down. Okay, and if we don't have a solution, this is what excited me about this product. It's a solution to a problem. Okay, and that problem is people are in debt. We have more student loan debt than we do credit card debt, and that's pretty significant. But people want to get out of that burden, okay? The burden of, they want to own their home. And when you can free that burden up, you can see people, and it's very personal, you can see people just come alive, okay? And we know this even within the Bible. It teaches us not to be in debt, okay? And to be stewards. And so to see them, in their excitement, it's so satisfying to me personally. But let me give you one other thing that's real important too. When people see a solution, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is how my wife and I looked at this. We come together as a team. We work together as a team. We start recognizing, okay, things or habits that we may have done in the past, and we start to recognize, no, you know what, I'm not going to do that. No, you know what, let's stay in this week and not go out to dinner. Let's take that money that we have allocated for, entertainment, and let's start applying that to the debt. It becomes a mission, okay, for you and your significant other to, accomplish this goal. We always talk about goals, right, real quickly, and this falls right in line with this program. A dream, okay, is just a dream unless you sit down and you create a goal. And once you create a goal, you write down action steps. And all of a sudden, this crazy thing happens, the goal is met. Okay, until you write it down, it's just a dream. Okay, so this software program gives you that step-by-step process. It's right there in front of you, and you just simply follow it. And all of a sudden, you're out of debt.
Well, you said the word process a couple times, and we've also, had the offer for the free assessment and so forth like that. But I know that, there's parts of the program that if somebody really wants to go forward where, they have to purchase something. Would you like to cover that real quick as far as the process of, reading the ebook and then going to the next step, and then finally what the options are if they really want to put this into being a part of their life?
Absolutely. Let me walk you through this real quickly, okay? The first thing you want to do is go on that website, okay? www.worthaccount.com/debt-free. Get the ebook, read it a few times, and then you want to sign up for a free analysis. Get the savings analysis, get all of your information gathered, and go through that analysis so you can see exactly what the program can do for you before you spend any money, okay? It gives you that look inside to see exactly what the program can do. Now, based upon your debt, how much debt you have, and how long it would take to pay it off, that's what's going to determine the price of the program. Okay, and the company stands behind their products, so they give you multiple different options on how to afford the program. But I really can't give you an actual price because it's based upon your individual financial data. Okay, but typically on a range, you're looking at anywhere from $1,000 up to $4,000 for the actual software program. But what's even more fascinating about this program is that it will actually tell you, okay, how many months you'll actually pay for that program. So look at it as an investment and know that it's going to be paid off very quickly because you have the software program that's going to tell you how to do that. Okay, so again, here I'll give you another story real quickly. Had an individual yesterday that did a free savings analysis, and I pulled out the actual worth account demo, and I said, take a look at this real quickly. I said, not only if you paid off your debt, but how about if we put in the software program that you wanted to save $50,000 over that period of time? Okay, how long would it take for you to not only pay off your debt, but have $50,000 in the bank? And he was absolutely blown away by the fact that he could be debt-free and also have $50,000 in the bank. So this software program is very dynamic. It's not static. Okay, and that would be another radio show going into how the program works.
Oh,
but
yeah.
again, I can't emphasize the importance of go read the book and do the analysis. It will not cost you anything to find out what this program can do for you.
Well, and I know you and I have talked a couple times about, that back end where it's a decision time on if we're going to add this to our family, so to speak, and stuff. Isn't there one option through, what is it, PayPal or something, where it's 0% interest, or how's that work?
Yeah, so once you've done your analysis and it determines exactly what the price is going to be, okay, you can go to PayPal, and the company is working in conjunction with PayPal to allow you to purchase the product and not have to pay any interest for 6 months. So basically, the PayPal pays for the product, and you have 6 months to pay it off without any interest. Okay. Now, what's even more great about this program is that you can actually earmark, okay, your first debt to be the actual software program, and the actual financial software program will make sure that debt is paid off within 6 months, so you pay no interest. So typically it might be a couple $100s a month, okay, for those 6 months, and it's definitely worth the investment.
Well, I know the little bit that my wife and I, Lorna, have messed around with the program and stuff, and we have not completed. I'll just be, full disclosure and stuff. We've been very, very busy with a wedding and graduations, and now one going to college, and I mean, it's just been a whirlwind. I mean, summer has actually been so busy that I'm kind of looking forward to fall for things to slow down. But we did plug in our mortgage, and just plugging in the mortgage was, I mean, an eye-opener to me, because they came up with, 3 different suggestions on how to get that paid off sooner as compared to later. In fact, I hope I don't regret this, but I brought along a sample personalized savings report here. And, I mean, this is tough to say all these numbers on a radio show where someone can't see it. I don't know, in future shows, could we have this to where the audience could see this on the YouTube and the Facebook broadcast?
If you were to send it to me as a digital file, yes.
Oh, okay, super. Well, we'll definitely do that. But I mean, just kind of a quick little summary. Here's a sample client that's got a $300,000 mortgage, which is $1,520 a month. They've got $12,500 in credit card debt, which is another $230.41 a month. So total debt's about $312,500 and about a payment of total of $1,750. And basically it goes through and it shows the current situation, what you're doing right now, and basically this person's going to have total debt payments of $568,641 over the next 29, let's call it 30 years, 29.9 years. And yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. At the end of that time, they've got 0 saved up from doing it the way the bank wants them to do it. And if they use the worth account at the end, they would be debt-free in 9.4 years, which in this example would be October of 2028. They would have saved 20 and a half years of debt payments. Now think about that, 20 and a half years of being debt-free, and at that stage in their life where that would put them. Because, I mean, you got to think, as you're getting older, the burden of the debt must get, harder and harder, thinking, I'm running out of time. How am I going to get this paid off? I've got other things I've got to accomplish and so forth. Total savings is $183,451. And, that's savings that they wouldn't have had if they hadn't used this program in their own situation. And like I said, there's just a lot of numbers on this. I probably should stop there before I confuse myself, but I think you'll find that next time we have a show on the Worth Unlimited, and if we're fortunate enough to be able to, possibly have Dr. Heeb call in again and stuff. I'm going to work on him. I'm going to see if I can get Dr. Heeb to come to Springfield one of these days and just be here for the show live. But, we started so fast, at the beginning of the show 33 minutes ago. I didn't do much of an intro, and I apologize, Dr. Heeb. He's been very humble. Do you want to give the audience a little bit of your background? Because I know when I met you at that first academy, I was like, wow, where did this guy come from? Is that are you okay doing that real quick?
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and was a good Catholic boy, and went to St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas. Graduated from there and with honors, thank God, and came back here to St. Louis and went to Logan College of Chiropractic, and was a chiropractor for over 25 years. I had 2 offices, about 11,000 patient base. One of my offices was in the St. Louis Rams Training Academy. And, about 4.5 years ago, I decided it was time for me to move on. I'd helped a lot of people, had 2 very successful practices, and decided, God wants me to do more and to go and touch more people's lives. And that's when we got involved in that technology called Beamer, because I saw a significant opportunity to help so many more people. And that's what led me to, Worth Unlimited. A dear friend of mine who's involved in the Beamer business, my team manager, introduced me to this product. And again, it fell right in line. I do academies in regards to Beamer. I go out and educate people all over the country in the science and technology of what Beamer does. And when we do presentations, one of the things we talk about is, as you get older, there are 2 burdens that you feel and experience every single day. You worry about that. And one was your health. Well, the other one was your finances. Mm-hmm. And so when I was, given this information and I looked at it and I, obviously practiced my due diligence, I said, my gosh, this is an unbelievable pairing of two solutions, okay, to what people suffer from as they get older, okay, which is your health and your finances. So that's what got me involved in this product. And, God works in mysterious ways, Tony. And, and opportunities come along and you seize upon those opportunities, especially because this is going to help so many people. And, I look at this as, my stewardship, the ability to go out and touch people's lives and really help them understand and see, that their dreams can come true. Okay. But people need to be educated. And so that's what I do now. I talk to people about their health, and I also talk to them about eliminating their debt.
Hey, that's something right there, not to butt in, but just real quick. Don't you have a workshop or something coming up here in the near future up in St. Louis?
Yes, we do. In November, we're going to have a 2-day event in St. Louis where the co-founders of the company, as well as other executives, are going to come in, and we're going to do a product demonstration on a Friday. And we're also going to do a training on a Saturday. It's going to be at Westboro Country Club. Now, you don't have to write any of this down. Just simply go to my website. That's www.drheeb.com. That's drheeb.com. And in the next few days, because we're finalizing the actual location, we're going to have a link where you can register for that presentation, okay? And we're also going to have information, because if some of your listeners are in Springfield, or people are coming from other areas throughout the country, we're going to have information on where you can stay, okay? So I'm getting very excited about this because, again, you're going to learn exactly how the program works, and then you're going to see exactly what you need to do in order to eliminate your debt.
Well, I know I, for one, am thrilled that you were able to join us this morning. I can just tell from Matt and Jay's glances back and forth that they're getting some inquiries, text messages and stuff. So maybe somewhere in the near future we can have you back on and so forth. But thank you very, very much for being on board this morning. And you want to give that website one more time before you take off?
Yeah. So I want my website, or you want the Worth account?
Well, let's use your. Well, let's do yours. I'll share mine once you're
Okay.
gone and so forth. But I know that I'd really like, especially if somebody is able in November to make that. That would be really, really beneficial.
Absolutely. So just simply go to www.drheeb.com. That's DRHEEB, B as in boy, .com. And there we're going to have an actual link to register for the webinar, or excuse me, for the presentation. Now, you'll also get to learn more about me. There'll be a few pictures of myself and my wife, and also my children. So it's a great website. It's a great resource.
Well, thank you so much for being on this morning, and we're going to let you go so you can get on with your day. I know you're very busy up there and so forth, but thank you very much.
My pleasure, Tony. I look forward to coming back on the program in the near future.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Dr. Heeb, I spelled his name right.
Good. He is quite the character. I wish we had the ability to show a picture of him, because he's one of these gentlemen that has a bow tie on, and just.
Well, we could do a video call next time.
Oh my God, let's do that. That would be really fun.
Yeah, where he would call in, with using his whatever he uses for like Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
And we could post him up right here.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
Or I could let him take my spot right here. He uses Zoom. He mentioned it. Yeah, that's compatible.
So before we had Dr. Heeb come on, I mentioned that I was doing this stewardship course, and was trying to share it with people in my life and so forth. And today's devotional, let me just read this, just really kind of hit home and stuff. It says, the place of money in your life. What's the place of money in your life? Do you have a balanced view, exercising godly wisdom and care with your material goods and gains? Or are you haphazard and careless with what the Lord's entrusted to you? There are 4 positions that people hold towards money. Number 1, idolatry. For some people, money becomes central to their lives. They devote most of their time and energy and attention to its gain and use. They regard money as the key to having power and prestige. Since an idol is anything you place above God in your heart and mind, anything you trust in more than Him, when you leave God out of your financial life, you're in grave danger of making money your idol. And by the way, that would be 1 Corinthians 6:9 to 6:10. Number 2 is envy. Another position people often have towards money is the sin of envy. They compare what they have with what others have and believe they come up lacking or have been cheated in some way. But God's Word is very clear on what envy can do to a body, and that's Proverbs 14:30. And the same can be applied to envying the wealth and material possessions of others. Number 3 is greed. Both idolatry and envy can easily result in greed, an insatiable desire for more. It's a void in a person's life that only God can fill, and no amount of money or possessions will satisfy the longing that can only be found in Him. And then number 4 is neutrality. The final position people hold is neutral. This is the wisest position. A $20 bill can be used to buy a bottle of booze, which can help lead to a ruined life, or it can be used to buy a Bible for a person who doesn't know the Lord, which can help lead to eternal life. That $20 bill by itself has no morality associated with it. It's the attitude toward our money and what we do with it that counts. As you take an honest look and evaluate your position on money and material gains, remember God is far more concerned about your attitudes and desires towards money than He is with your starting and ending balance. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. For he who sows to his flesh will of the flesh reap corruption, but he who sows to the Spirit will of the Spirit reap everlasting life. And that's Galatians 6:7 and 6:8. And I don't know about you, but I start reading this stuff, and I sometimes I can't stop. I just kind of keep going to the next lesson and the next devotional.
Right.
Now, what's interesting about this one is that was the devotional for today, and then, as I mentioned, the the verses themselves. One was the 1 Corinthians 6:9, 6:10, Proverbs 14:30, and Galatians 6:7 and 6:8. And last week we talked a little bit about some
Jim-
material possessions.
Jim says thanks. Says you're preaching the message exactly what he has said and supports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you take that $20 bill and go buy a Bible and then get it in the hands of somebody who, needs to find Jesus and read it and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? To them, $20 may be, insurmountable. I mean, some of the people I run into out on the streets and stuff, and then again, $20 may be something they just, spend on whatever and don't think about it. But I mean, I thought that was kind of powerful.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to tie that into last week and a little bit to this week. Last week I started the show because we're calling it the gold standard. I thought about it. Well, we ought to call it the new gold standard, because I got to tell you, there's some things happening out there in the world that are, to me, amazing. I mean, you've got the political situation, the markets. You've got tariffs. I mean, there's just all kinds of things going on. And since we talked about gold and silver last week, I'll tell you, they've both gone up considerably since last week's show. Gold this morning was, it was over $15.50 last time I looked. In fact, let me do that real quick here.
1,550 an ounce.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's a lot of cheddar.
That is a lot of cheddar.
Because it's gold.
Got it.
Sorry.
Okay, so as we speak, gold is $1,538.80, as a spot price, which is actually down $4.70 for the day. Silver is $18.38 an ounce, and that's up 11 cents for the day. And both of those are up considerably since May. I know back in May is when I really started to recommend gold and silver to some of my clients that, didn't have the right amount in their portfolios. We're always telling people you should have probably 10% at least of your net worth in metals, something that would benefit from a recession, so you can kind of balance out the negative effects of a recession on the rest of your portfolio and stuff. Last week you asked me a question, and that's why I thought I'm going to have this program handy this week and stuff. Platinum, just so that we can kind of cover that, is currently $901 an ounce.
So it's cheaper than gold. It used to be more expensive than gold.
Used to be. Palladium is $1,475 an ounce. And rhodium, now there's one for you.
What is rhodium?
Rhodium is, okay, that's kind of an interesting question.
Is it what they make roads out of?
No.
Oh.
Well, and I'll tell you what they use a lot of rhodium in are these catalytic converters. And
I thought they used platinum oxide.
Well, they use that too, but I mean, I'm telling you, rhodium, that's a big part of catalytic converters. $4,500 an ounce. And just a little side note here, when I was going over some rhodium here 3 weeks ago, our 18-year-old was still home. He's now away at college, but I was like, rhodium, holy cow, look at this. His name's Asa. And we were laughing about it and stuff, and he was like, well, gosh, maybe I should go around and collect some catalytic converters. And we chuckled because, I mean, obviously we would never.
People have done that.
Well, and then that's the reason I'm bringing it up is that the other day, it was either this weekend or Monday, I want to say somebody in Canada got arrested. I think it was either Canada or Australia. I guess I should know my facts before I get too far committed. But I do know the gist of the story, which was this person had stolen 60 catalytic converters from cars on the street and got caught. And was obviously selling them for the metals involved and stuff.
Yeah, they go for quite a bit.
So not to give anybody any wrong ideas.
During the recession, we had out on our parking lot that the trucking company I work for, we had people stealing catalytic converters off there. They just come out with a sawzall or a reciprocating saw. Isn't that what that's called?
Yeah, you go to the junkyard. You go to the metal yard with a trunk full of catalytic converters, though, and they take care of it.
Oh, I bet they do now. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, Asa and I, when we were talking about it, it's like, okay, so you get a catalytic converter. Where do you take it to cash it in?
Jim says rhodium is the new phone life resource.
Oh, okay. So anyway, all these metals are very, very important and very, very expensive and stuff. You know, as long as we're going that far, copper is $2.50 an ounce. And I will tell you this: copper, believe it or not,
An ounce?
yeah,
Wow.
copper, believe it or not, is a good indicator of the economy. And right now, if you could see my chart, Matt can see it. Maybe he can testify. That's copper the last 6 months, and copper is at an all-time low. Which I guess what you can take from that is that that's an indicator that a recession may be right around the corner. Along with, remember last week we were talking about the inverted yield curve. I know this morning it was inverted. The 2-year Treasury was paying more interest than the 5 and the 10-year. And the last time I looked before I came in to do the show, the 30-year Treasury was less than 2%. I want to say it was like 1.9 something, I want to say. But anyway, just a lot of information, obviously, for a show. Nickel is $7.33. Aluminum is only 78 cents. Zinc's $1.02. Lead's 94 cents. And here's one of my favorites: uranium. Uranium is $25.30. And
An ounce.
Yeah. Crude oil's 56.38, and that's probably enough as far as all these prices. The main thing is on this show, what I'd like to accomplish, and we started last week, is giving everybody an idea of some alternative assets. Because so often we get caught up in all these paper assets, stocks and bonds and money markets and things of that nature, annuities and everything's paper. And when you get right down to it, and I would encourage you, I'm giving websites out here right and left, but, last week I gave my website. It's called thegoldaffiliate.com. And you can go to that website and you can order a free packet of information on gold and silver. And one of the things in there is a DVD. It was funny. I was making the boys watch the DVD the other day when we went on a little road trip to Tulsa. And you can imagine their responses as this guy was going through all the information and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it was like, Dad, really? Do we have to pay attention? I'm like, yes, watch this. This is important stuff. But where I'm going with this is back in 2001, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, ever since then, the U.S. dollar has not been money. It has been currency. In fact, it's fiat currency, which means it's not tied to anything. They can just print as much of it as they want. And gold is still money because, I mean, that is something that you can exchange, throughout the world, gold and silver for that matter and so forth. And one article I was reading this morning, and then I'll wrap up, but this was kind of an interesting view on things. I was reading this one person, I like to read his articles, and he was talking about the difference between 71 and where we are now in 2019. And he said, maybe it isn't so much that gold has gone up so much. Maybe it is, when we look at gold being 1543 or whatever. Let me just see, where were we? Gold was, it's 1538 and 60 cents right now. It's not so much that gold has gone up that much, it's more a reflection that the dollar has gone down so much. And he went through a few currencies. He went through the sterling and in Britain and so forth. But I mean, the U.S. dollar has lost something like 97% of its purchasing value since 1971. And probably not a topic I want to delve more into at this point because we're almost out of time. Matt, how much time do we have?
I got 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Well, anything that we didn't cover today that from last week's show and what you saw today with Dr. Heeb that we should talk about
I got
before
a question real quick.
Yep.
Real fast. Which is less volatile, gold or Bitcoin?
Oh, but that's an easy one. Less volatile would be gold.
Ah.
Yeah, Bitcoin is, a lot of people call it the new gold. I don't know if it's quite there yet, but it is a lot more mainstream than it was even 2 years ago. So I would encourage folks to keep their eyes and ears open about Bitcoin. I myself, have some Bitcoin and like to follow it. In fact, some of the future shows that we'll do will be focusing on not only Bitcoin, but some of the other cryptos, as far as the larger ones, the ones that have the largest market cap. And I think there's something there, mainly just if nothing else, the blockchain seems to be what a lot of companies and governments are interested in and so forth. But yeah, gold, in my opinion, would be a lot less volatile than Bitcoin. Any other questions?
Good question. That's it for now.
Okay. Jay?
Gold doesn't disappear when the power goes out.
That's true. Gold does not disappear when the power goes out.
Well, if you think about it, gold's been around for 5,000 years. And
you basically, if you have Bitcoin, you can literally carry it around on a flash drive.
well, that's just it. A lot of people encourage people with Bitcoin to use the flash drive, the wallet, so they can download their address and have it just in case the power goes out and all this kind of stuff. And that's the way the people I work with that are that much into security do it, is they get their Bitcoin and put it onto a wallet they carry with them. Anyway, any other questions?
Nope, that's it for now.
Well, we are really grateful for an opportunity to bring this show to you. I hope everybody enjoyed Dr. Heeb today. He's
Did it give you the heebie-jeebies? Anyways, go ahead, sorry.
he is full.
Is it true? So when the economy's good and money's flowing and jobs are good,
30 seconds.
gold value's down. So when you can afford to buy gold, is the best time to buy it.
Well, one of the things I like about gold is gold is
15 seconds.
one of those things where you buy low, sell high. And yes, when gold is low, you probably should. If you don't have 10% of your portfolio in gold, you should be acquiring it. Thank you very much, by the way.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the Gold Standard today. Thank your host, Tony Hammock, and he'll be back on with us again next Wednesday. And thank you to Dr. Heeb for being on the show with us as well. So until then, bye, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, gold is definitely.